Hello and welcome to the Beth of Fresh Air, Friday, July 24, 2026. I'm Beth of Fresh Air, Beth of the House of Free Will. I'm here with Dagmar Stansova today. We're going to be talking nickel, so I'll bring her right on.
Hello, Beth of Fresh Air.
I love that. That's some the kind of olden day talk that they would always say they're the something of something else,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, the house of this or the house of that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So how the heck are you?
Well, I was thinking of Glory of the Dawn. That's supposed to be the meaning of my name, another of Glory of the Dawn. Well, I had quite the nickel day yesterday where I had to do a whole big thing of binders. But it's like every time I have a nickel dump, there's always some other side to it that is really good. Like it's got I just had to lay down. But at the same time, I managed to get myself to do some exercises, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm flexing where I wasn't before, and I'm also not in pain, which is wow. Have you noticed that? Because I know you've done yoga and you taught yoga, right? So have you noticed any difference in how, when you're actually engaging with your body, how it's different?
Yes, definitely. I was in a nickel coma yesterday too, and one of my things that I thought, okay, well, I'm going to just actually try to exercise. I'm going to go for a big long walk. I'm going to do some workout. I've got a school close by that has a full like gym outside, an outdoor gym kind of thing. So I worked pretty hard, and I was definitely exhausted by it, but I noticed like I barely feel it today. There's no inflammation, which is what the pain, I think the post workout pain is about, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, yeah, we have to talk more about this. I'm going to ask some other people what their experiences are with, because it's phenomenal. I mean, for me, because I've had like a hip pain on and off for the longest time, and I'm actually going, wait a second, it's gone. Well, and we're talking now since like 2000, probably nine or something, or 2010, something that's kind of been building. And I'm like, wow, it's, and also that I'm doing some of the stuff that, the primal, like the flow movement, the primal flow, which I think is similar to what Garrett does, the original strength stuff, where you're getting in, and it's really hard, but I'm noticing like, wait a second, I'm doing it, that I'm not just tried to do this a year and a half ago. I would be like, forget this, too intense. But yeah,
Right. Good
so,
for you.
yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, super good. Hello to Diane in the chat. Nice to hear from you today. And she's in the wars over on Facebook. It's funny. I'm a little quieter. I do post some stuff and I'll chime in where I can take a chance, but she's just full on posting Garrett's work and the especially the ivermectin stuff that always gets a swarm of haters. It's amazing. They will fight to the death on that ivermectin. They just love that stuff like anything. So yeah, good on you, Diane. And Stephanie, welcome. Nice to see you and have you here. Quietly Content Bear and Maya are in the chat. So thank you for coming. Yeah, super good. I always like having you on, Dagmar, especially because you have a science brain and you have an ability to pick up more. I was re-listening to the first 5-hour nickel thing yesterday. I only made it 90 minutes in before the coma took over, but it's just getting it down and quick aside. So there's 3 centers. No one will be surprised by this, and Gurdjieff works off of this. That you've got the intellectual center, the emotional center, and the instinctive center. And pre-pandemic, I'm strong on the emotional center, the intellectual center. I'm strong in my lane, like in my own work, but I hadn't really let myself learn anything out there, which in a way is a blessing because there's so much crap to learn and you have to unlearn it. And that's when I decided it's like, okay, it's time to really apply my brain. And then hitting Garrett's work was next level.
Mhm.
I'm sure you know people, and I know people that they tried, but they didn't dig in and start really trying to learn. So today we're talking about polyethanolamide. Good, I said it all.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, no,
Oh, pol-
palitoyl
shit.
ethanol. Wait, I was
Pol-
practicing it too. I even asked Google to speak it for me.
Palmitoylethanolamide.
Palmitoylethanolamide.
Yeah.
Palmitoylethanolamide. Yes, of course.
Say it 10 times fast.
Oh God, no. Don't.
Yeah, and like this is part of me trying to train myself. I was playing that game with myself. I had to get chat to pronounce it for me so I could hear it too. And I actually got up to 10 in a row where I did. I'm sure I couldn't do it now, but I got up to 10 in a row where I said it correctly. I left it alone. Like that's it. It's over for me now. And yeah, so just in case we completely mangled that, palmitoylethanolamide.
Palmitoylethanolamide. All right, class, everybody. Palmitoylethanolamide.
Exactly. We should create a song because that's actually the most powerful way to memorize anything. Yeah.
But really, let's just call it PEA.
Yeah, exactly. Which is tricky, as you know, because on our list we're going to talk about why you don't want to mistake it for other things. And hello, Elisa. Nice to see you here. Love to you both. Love you as well. And Lovely's in the chat, definitely. Yeah, so this has been fun. I do like being part of a community where there's a constant spirit of experimentation, which requires courage and not being a victim. When like I always say, like lemmings, the first batch of us that heard about nickel toxicity, and we're just like, okay, just start cutting it out. And I still phased, but I went right into it regardless. And we all had things just blow up on us. And it would be easy to go back and grumble at Garrett or Kelsey, or try to put it back on them. It's like, no, I'm a grown adult, and I heard that thing, and I just did that thing, and now I'm paying the price.
Well, but you're also getting the huge reward. I mean, to me, the price is very small, considering what is happening in return, and that it's instead of going on a downward spiral, it's going on a it's just, I don't even know if it's upward or downward. It's just that there's things that are unwinding, and like I think we talked last time, I'm just feeling more space. And the more I think about how our body is like constantly creating little suitcases to hold things in, I'm going, wow, it's like decluttering a house and, throwing away the suitcase. And I feel lighter, like it's lighter to walk.
Fantastic. That's amazing. Yeah, so good.
There's one other thing that I want to add to what you said in the beginning about what the journey requires. And time and discipline. I mean, I calculated how much time I put a week into the study, reading some of those totally boring papers, or just even listening to Garrett's freaking 4 or 5 hours, and that's part of it. I look at it like it's part of my study of here on earth, that I'm not just trying to evolve emotionally or get to become more who I am, but I'm also addressing the fact that I'm not just a blob in the air, that I am actually a body here that also needs some kind of attention and a relationship, like having a relationship. So you always put time into a relationship. If you want a good relationship, you gotta pay attention to the person. And in this case, it's yourself. It's like, you want a relationship with your body. Yeah. You gotta like listen, but the rewards it's so huge. But I calculated, I spent about a good 7-8 hours a week just on, this journey and digging into it, not just taking everything that Garrett says. And looking into it and thinking out, starting to think on my own and having connections that are fun for me.
Exactly.
I make up my own theories too. They may not be right, but but I'm still, and then I can prove that they are not right, or I can prove that, oh, I'm onto something. But
That's
none of
awesome.
this, there's going to be no official, where you can sit down with a physician and say like, well, here's the 100 years of research and 30 clinical trials, studies with 20,000 people in each study, and here's your proof, buddy. But it's not going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Hello to let's see, probably not pronounce your name very well, but Otuansa, and he's congratulating me for pronouncing it better, or he can pronounce it better now too. Good, thank you, I appreciate that. Sending some love probably back to Lisa. That's nice. And yeah, about time and discipline. Am I getting the name of the document correct? The Order of the Barbarians?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, yeah, in that one, it's basically, am I getting this correct? It came through Micah Ehlers, and he was saying that it's literally planned that only those of the greatest discipline are going to survive this. That's
Garrett is the one who brought this up originally on one of his live streams. Remember when he said the Order of the Barbarians? He said that if you have the stomach for it, and and if you don't know some of these things, then listen to it. But yeah, that it's the discipline. Yeah,
that's in. Yeah, I don't think he said this part, but that's in the document that they're planning. That it's going to be a very narrow path to stay healthy. We were joking on the Love Your Liver House of Free Will Telegram group this morning, and somebody said that they're waiting until there's nothing to eat like this. So and I joked, yeah, I was planning for a famine post-pandemic and stopped eating enough. That's when I really solidified me as an undertype. For those of you that are already knowing what under and over means in the Love Your Liver world. But they both said it, Maya. Okay, Maya's the arbiter here of the. There you go. They both said it. Okay, good to know. So yeah, it's crazy. Like, and you see most people are not able or willing to go to that degree, right? It would just be inconvenient. Everything would turn upside down in their life. They would become, something of a social. Not pariah, but it would become socially awkward one way or another.
Well, it's interesting that people often do say like, well, there's nothing left to eat. What do you eat? And so the world may be in a famine because all the food that they're used to eating isn't there. But for me, it wouldn't be that hard because I still, I'm clear on what I do eat, and it's not a whole lot. I mean, quantity, yes, I do eat quite a bit of food, but it's not variety. It's not like hundreds of different things. I don't need any cans, and I don't need any,
Right. Yeah, I haven't opened a can for a really long time now. And well, you think about it, say, with regard to our instinctive moving center being the physical that doesn't need to be managed, by the way, like that's God-given. That's something that doesn't matter, if we're fully mechanical, intellectually and emotionally, it will still work, right? It's still, you're still going to breathe your lungs. It's still going to metabolize food and do its detox. It's just that
try to stay alive and try to stay alive. Yeah, that's
yes, try to not die. Exactly. Yeah. That's it. That's his mission, not to die. So yeah, it's a narrow path, like all the good paths are extremely narrow, and that's just the fact of the matter. So it requires commitment. And I was thinking about, say, I got scared into prepping around 2018. I saw the writing on the wall for a few years, and I finally okay, I'm just going to suck it up and go and start storing this and storing that. I picked my son up and I told him, we're going to Costco. Costco was where we were going. And he goes, what are we going to get? And I said, some food just in case it stops coming. And he's like, okay, just don't tell anybody. He just manned up right in that moment. It's like, okay, no problem. All right, we're on it. Let's do it. Didn't faze him. And now I'm giving all my preps away because I don't eat that food anymore.
Well, can we talk? I mean, I bought like very, very fine quality sardines and salmon
Yes.
and all kinds of other canned, but really good quality, like that are only heated once in the can. But I have piles of them. I mean, it's so embarrassing. Along with my, cemetery for supplements, I have the cemetery for survival food, and I even had green powders.
Oh, yes.
I just pour them all out, in nature. But I mean, I guess if I was starving and all I had was the sardines, of course I'd eat them. I'm not dumb, you know. But
Right. Well, that's the thing. I was actually trying to put myself in that position because someone gave good advice. I said, do not prep food that you don't like to eat. And, are we going to get to that point? I guess starvation is a different state of mind altogether. Like I'll probably will go for the beans and the rice, brown rice at that point. But yeah. Anyway, I guess we'll don't need to plan for it. It's part of the psyop, right? They want us on edge. They want us stressed out. They want us destabilizing ourselves. I know that the time and energy we put into gardens, there's nothing wrong with it, and it's a good, it's a good track. That's to be closer to the land. But I really killed myself to grow a few vegetables, and now I've got more time on my hands.
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
was so relieved when but this was maybe 4 or 5 years ago when I just stopped vegetables, and I was going like, all this torture to grow a freaking tomato.
Yeah, I know.
It's supposed to be like, I mean, if you enjoy that, but at the same time, it's like I'm the one who's handling my own poisoning. It's just so interesting that I go through all this trouble, to consume that and focus on like that's food. So I guess
Yeah, I think I poisoned myself more in the garden than anywhere, like gorging on all the fresh peas that were growing. I would just like, yum. I couldn't, pick some, eat some, pick some, eat some, grabbing the hunk of lettuce off the bloom of whatever and chomping it down, and then going into the orchard and grabbing some apricots and like this, and grapes off the vine. And so welcome to Mike Ellers is in the house. Speaking of which, we were just quoting you if you didn't hear that. And Maya's saying hello to you. So PEA was a very interesting development in this world, and it came of what is that expression? Necessity is the mother of invention. And did you know there's even a goddess named Necessity?
no. Wow.
Yeah, little known one, but not surprising, because that's exactly when things start to, get invented or discovered or rediscovered. And Michael, we were just talking about how that Order of the Barbarians document promises. Did I get this correct? That it will be the most narrow disciplined path to stay healthy, and that only the few will be able to do it. You can help me clarify. I didn't read the document. I didn't need to get depressed all over again about that stuff.
I listened to some of it. Yeah.
You did. Oh, right. It's recordings.
Yeah, it's recordings. Yeah.
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 Right.
I mean, it's not saying anything new, but it's nice to hear it again.
Right.
To really grasp, like, I'm not part of the popularity group. I'm clear on that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And in so many ways. So that's why I often refer to, the people around me as rare souls, and that I'm looking for rare souls. If you guys know any rare souls, please do send them our way, because there's some good rare soul stuff going on around here. And maybe before I completely forget, I will let people know that August 5th coming up, I am hosting an open house. Speaking of rare souls, this is for my coaching training certification called Journey Code. And so this year I'm going to give a talk, which I usually do in my open house. And it is for people that have already learned some boundaries. Maybe they're not perfect at it, but they have the power to say no. My son called me yesterday and he was so upset. His best friend wanted to come here for dinner. His best friend likes eating here because he gets really good food. And but Liam did not want to come, and he was acting like he's somehow the slave of his best friend. And I said, just say no in a really nice voice. Say no, it won't work out today. And, so I can see he's got that same kind of thing. No is not the destination. So that's one of the reasons right in the banner of this event I'm putting in that, for those that have learned to say no and navigate that way, it's not the whole destination, and that greater purpose is going to call you even more loudly than the need to say no. And so we're going to go into the architecture of human behavior, because for me, understanding my own behavior and other people's behavior was super important to me. It was a major key turner in my ability to navigate in the world and, become more on purpose with what I'm doing. So that's what I'm going to be doing August 5th. This is a free event, so you can just sign up with your email with that link that I shared. It's in the show notes below as well if you're not on the live stream. And Franklin is clapping. Nice to have you here. Welcome. And so there's the link. So good that I did that. At least if I forget to do it again, then that's done. Also, Banjo Glass is going to be coming on Monday, the 27th, for his part 2 interview. We're going to be talking culture, going down the anthropology of the Grateful Dead movement and how that has birthed. Yeah, because I had about 5 minutes as a deadhead. You probably can't even call me that, but I know about that world, and more so vicariously through some close friends. And he's made such a life out of it. He's created a culture around his work, and not a small one. Like, he has 155,000 Instagram followers, and he says he puts up a piece maybe valued at like $30,000 or more, and it's gone in 5 minutes for him. So he's made a life. He's kind of been a grandfather of the culture, and I love that, how you can go have like literally nothing and create something. Mm-hmm. The whole world of functional glass didn't even exist before he came along. And the link doesn't work. Thank you for telling me. Should you be able to click on it in the chat? Maybe not. Am I wrong about that? Does anyone else want to try it? It is in the notes below. So if you don't mind, thank you, Josh Rush, if I said your name correctly. So yeah, that's good. I never knew if it could or not. I'm going to do a little experiment, and bear with me for a second. I might make some noise. I can figure this out.
From which part of your body?
Let me see what happens when I click it. Something went wrong. Yeah, it's not working. So it is in the notes below, but I'm wondering if the link is corrupted for some reason.
Oh, it's Jen Beth. That's her name.
Yeah, so the link works, but not in the chat. It ain't working. It's Jen from Alberta, maybe?
Alberta,
yeah, the link isn't working. And please do grab it from the show notes, because I just checked the link. It does work, but it's not working maybe because it's too long, something. But anyway, thank you for the link in the description. Works excellent. Greatly content there. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, am I still here?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you.
I asked myself that.
Where am I? Who am I?
Well, that's a very important question. Where am I?
It really is. Because it's not important, or it's not enough just to know who you are. You need to know where you are. That's why I do the archetype work, because that places you on the journey. All right, good. So we got all the business over with. Thank you for persisting and for letting me know, both of you guys. That is awesome. Okay, so let's get deep into palmitoylethanolamide.
Ooh, look how that just slid off your tongue. Palmitoylethanolamide.
I'm showing off here. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So this was born out of a certain desperation, right? That nobody knew in the Love Your Liver world how intensely nickel detox was going to hit us, because the research only reflected people who had normal diets and lifestyles. Mm-hmm. And as we've already said, we've got much more, rare. And the way I guess Garrett and Kelsey would describe it, we have open detox channels more so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
So our bodies are much more ready to, if something it gets a little opening, it's coming.
Exactly. Like a truck.
Yeah.
And it turned out our bodies were like desperate to let the nickel go because of the speed.
Yeah.
Literally someone changes out their cookware and all of a sudden they're dumping nickel.
Yeah.
Right. I've heard that over and over again now.
Or removing the wire from my bras.
Right. Right. You had a massive response to that.
Yeah. Through the cloth. I'm like, wow, all these decades.
I know. It's craziness. Yeah. And apparently nickel will even go through rubber gloves and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So this PEA thing has become like this amazing tool, another tool, because we have a lot of tools. But this one has kind of really made me sit back and be like, wow, because it's not a drug. It's not some new invention, like you were saying in your intro. It's something that is endogenous, something that our body makes. And it's in response to when we are being poisoned or stress or whatever, our body makes this to deal with that. And what's crazy about it is that how intensely it has been studied. And there's tons of research on it, but then it just kind of, because you can't patent it, right? Because it's made naturally. So, and then it just kind of like, all the studies were kind of abandoned. Like I've never heard of it. And I was deep in that world for decades, so I never heard of it. And it kind of made me think of, I don't know if you're familiar with the story of Admiral Byrd. This was, I think, in the 50s, and he's the one who went to the North Pole. He was a very rich guy, but he was an adventurer, explorer. And then he went to Antarctica. And there's all these interviews of him on, those old, not news, maybe it was news, but black and white, where he's being interviewed and he is saying that what he discovered in Antarctica was a continent the size of the United States, and that there's an extraordinary amount of natural resources there that could keep all of humanity going for, a really long time. And everybody, like all the countries, suddenly became so interested in this because natural resources, oh my God. And then just like that, it went from being the biggest thing ever to suddenly like the United Nations made some pact where nobody's allowed to go there. And the pact lasts 50 years and they renew it again, so it's sort of, that's what this reminds me of. It's like something was the research was so phenomenal and people got such great results. And then suddenly it was like, okay, never mind.
Exactly. Pretend that didn't happen. That's it. And was it Operation High Jump?
I don't.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm going to blurt this out. It's a fake story.
Oh, it's a fake story.
A fake story.
The story of what he saw in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
They made it up. So him and all that stuff about him and von Werner, who was that Nazi?
Braun,
yeah,
or something like that. Yeah, yeah. Operation High Jump was real, but not the part that you were saying. So yeah, not to shoot you down or anything like that.
Oh, please!
I like the truth.
Highly, highly malleable in this. It's just, I just thought the analogy, but okay, well, I guess I made an analogy on on something that isn't true.
I find myself doing that all the time, going back to those kind of things.
Saying Operation High Jump is real. He's saying it is real.
Just not the story behind it.
Story. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
The story behind it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Mike is clarifying, saying the story is about the mysterious land was not. Yeah.
Oh, but Operation High Jump was a big deal, but not the. Okay. Got it. Okay.
There you go. We got live updates going on here. So thank you, Micah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Micah.
Yeah. And I just want to preempt the PEA also with a lot of people can be really irresponsible and they're not actually bringing research to the table, right? They're not there. And there can be this, like, there's no reason it shouldn't work, rather than going, here's how it did work. Right. And that's what I fell for a lot in both natural health and in the law arena, although I never really did anything to jeopardize myself in law. But the number of times, oh, there's no reason it shouldn't work. It's like, what are you telling me? That means you haven't done it. Nobody's done it. You just want us to go all be your experimenters. So that's not what's happening in the Love Your Liver world at all. And yeah, no, that wasn't rude, Micah. Like Dagmar just said, we're both pretty thick-skinned and want the truth more than we want to.
Yeah, please poke holes in any, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. Bring it on.
Yeah,
At this stage.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Bring it on, because that's nonstop. And Micah is really, I think he has a way in under that most people don't. So it would be a fun thing to bring up all of our theories that we believe and have him kind of check and be like, you know, to let them go. It's just like with our eating style. You know, I mean, I was doing all the raw meat, agenesis stuff, and so then I started poking holes in it, and I'm like, oh my God, you know. So it's what else are we gonna do here besides learn, grow, and bust some delusions?
Exactly. Yeah, I often quote Charlie Robinson, who said, I don't want to, and I don't think he followed through on this, but God bless him anyway. He said, I don't want to be right, I want to do right. Right? That humility where it's like, let's do what works. Doesn't matter if that makes me wrong. I'll be wrong all day if I can do what's right. So yeah, like with the PEA, palmitoylethanolamide. See, I said it again. I think there's a psyop right in the name, as far as trying to suppress it because anyone that like palmitoyl, palmitic, all of that, like right away brings up like palm
True.
poison.
They could have made it 2 words. It's so much easier if they made it 2 words. Like I could say palmitoylethanolamide if it was 2 words, but in 1 word, it's like palmitoylethanolamide.
Exactly.
And it's a challenge, and it just like, yeah, it creates like a dissonance when you say it. You're like, what is it? And
exactly. Exactly. And then you get the ethanol. That doesn't sound good. Who wants to take ethanol? And any amide sounds like a poison, like nicotinamide, right? That's right away a tip off. Hey, Marco, nice to have you here. We're actually now, with Micah's permission, we're going to be doing a House of Free Will event where we're going to go deeper into some of that stuff. We'll be covering things like the Mandela effect and other really, big psyop kind of CIA projects or whatever that is. I probably shouldn't say those 3-letter words anymore here. But yeah, stay tuned and become a member of the House of Free Will. You can apply with the links that are in the notes below, and we talk about everything that we can't talk about in public there. So I shouldn't speak for Micah, and so that's pending that Micah could actually do that, but we did talk about it. All right, so if we get into first thing I want to do, I probably said first already, but I want to give Kelsey Kenny the credit for having made this discovery in the research. And again, born of the necessity, we were all suffering. And her answer to suffering is to go and do all of the research. Oh, yay, Micah says we shall. So that's confirmed. We don't have a date yet, but we'll be doing that. And so, yeah, she dug in with her science mind. What do you call her? The queen of chemistry, which is very true. We're honored to have her as a member in the House of Free Will, actually, which is really cool. We're making some experiments now in trying to make our own pectin pops. I got pectin today, so I might have all my ingredients to do a first batch of these pops, which you can't get in Canada. Unbelievable that they literally don't make it available. I found one lozenge that has pectin, and there's so much garbage in there. It's hideous. I tried to return them. They won't let me. Just like, all righty. So yeah, woot woot. Quietly content Paris. Cheering for that. And so, yeah, hats off to Kelsey and, of course, Garrett for having Kelsey on the team and listening to her. And yeah, people had some pretty amazing experiences so far with the PEA. I know I had an amazing honeymoon with PEA, and right away, I felt more energy. I felt greater well-being. I felt an evenness in my emotional center that I hadn't, it's usually work for me to be in here that I'm always doing my work. And there was a day where I remember saying I couldn't even come up with a bad feeling if I wanted to.
Mhm.
So it had a great effect on the mood. And then, it's, I think, like absolutely anything now, I've normalized to it. I'm not noticing any big effect when I'm taking it. I know it's working in my body. It has a cumulative effect over time as well.
Yeah.
And what was your observation? You said there's like more space in your body, but what happened for you when you first started taking it?
Um, and the first 2 days, I didn't feel much, but then slowly I started to notice that I'm calming down internally, sleeping better. And then I guess now it's about 5 weeks or so, but that my hip pain is gone, that it's non, and that I can endure and do way more exercises without feeling like, oh my God, when is this going to be over? Like doing the animal flow stuff and feeling like I can keep going on. And also, I've been having experiences that are literally as if I gave myself a gallbladder liver flush. I think Kelsey mentioned that happened to her too, where we'll talk about the niacin and the PEA together. I think that's also been very, very powerful. Do you think we should mention now, just the whole, while we're still on the idea that it can't be patented and that they're trying to make it into micronized and ultra micronized because they could patent that, and so just give people the heads up not to purchase the micronized or the ultra micronized, because the process in which they use to make those, there's potential nickel and plastic. I forgot what else was in there, but that it's actually, and it has other crap added to it. So just stick to the simple PEA powder, nothing expensive. And don't go crazy with the micronized and ultra micronized, because I was about to. I was like, oh, ultra micro, oh, I must try that.
Right, which can be good because like we're taking modified citrus pectin, which is actually designed to go into your bloodstream, where
Yeah.
most of the time you don't want that.
Yeah.
But for nickel chelating, because the problem is in the gut, but it's also very much, I've been detoxing the brain for sure with nickel. I had the weirdest sensations in my head, and it wasn't just emotion. There was an emotional component to it as well. The coma, like just, the low of the low, um, you know, definitely like a program I couldn't even release until the very end of the night. And the so yeah, it's tricky just because, it's nano, or like nano means bad or micro means bad. It's just not like that. You need to know the function. What's Garrett's phrase these days, that the results?
Oh no, oh God, I'm sure Micah knows it. What was
The
it?
effect
The
is,
no, the function it tells the form.
I know
Yeah,
I can't get it either. Yeah. Maybe let us know. Yeah, so it's something to the effect that the result is what it does,
yeah.
right?
What a system does is, oh,
Yeah, system is right.
yeah, system. He uses the word system.
Anyway, well, I'm sure we'll get that. Does anyone else, the something, anyway, he said it so many times that it makes sense every time he says it, and I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
memorized that, but yeah, no, I'm sure that the fact that it can't be patented, it is made by the body, produced naturally by the body, and your body will go to great lengths to deal with some of the, really common symptoms, say inflammation.
mhm,
There's a whole stream of natural health that considers inflammation to be the cause of all disease. As like, well, no, you're still not at the cause. You're at the effect. And yes, inflammation is involved in a lot of disease, and it is a problem. And it's in some case, actually, in a way, the inflammation is never the problem. It is your body's answer. But I guess because it can become overwhelming. Oh, No, not form follows function. It's different. Yeah, it's something that Garrett's been quoting over and over, but thanks anyway. That's a good guess.
And
A system is what it does?
yeah, a system is what it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There you
A
go.
system is what it does. Beth, your brain.
PEA. There you go. Yeah. So then personally, the rebel in me loves that they cannot patent this. That it is a naturally occurring. It's like God created this in our bodies as a function. And so then there's something, they can't make money on it. They're powerless to. I just got a lifetime supply of it just in case, because that's always my conspiracy mind. That's like, oh well, they'll just make it unavailable. There are not very many producers around the world, and apparently one of the sources did sell out in the short term because Garrett's busy sending everybody to get it. So
So following on that, to keep in mind that it's that like lithocholic acid, let's say, which I think Garrett said it means stone forming bile. It inhibits the production of PEA. So this is where we are. This is where we are. Because our bile is, or whatever your bile recipe is, you've been inhibiting the production of PEA, which is why taking it externally has been such an incredible support. But apparently it's supportive to people who are still eating whatever, who are not on a low toxin lifestyle. So, it can't hurt. And it truly, according to Garrett's research and mine, there doesn't seem to be any side effects to this. So there's no like bad side effects,
Right.
So that's something.
And I want to emphasize, because I was kind of excited, starting with as is always recommended, start with a smaller amount, work your way up. Don't just dive in and take, whatever amounts are recommended in the research. Could be for a guy up to 3,600 milligrams a day. And so I got excited and I'm ramping it up, like I'm building it up. And then all of a sudden I'm so aware that it has sped up my detox. Because a few people were questioning, like, oh, isn't this just a duration paradox and it's stopping your detox? It's like, no, definitely not stopping my detox, that's for sure. And I have to keep it at a level where I can tolerate and not be dumping so hard that I can't live my life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So yeah, no side effects, and it promotes detox. Because every little bit that your body is able to deal with the inflammation and make repairs, then your body gets excited, like, oh, I could let go of more of this poison out of storage.
Yeah, so it really specializes in repairing the damage that's been done by the nickel, particularly on our internal skin, which is our guts. Yeah, and our external too. I've been using it externally. I don't know if you have, but I've been putting it into the magnesium lotion or any other lotion that I have. I just freely put it in, and I notice a huge difference in not having that drying skin that niacin can cause sometimes. So
that's so cool. Yeah, I want to talk more about that, definitely. Maybe we should just do that now. So yeah, I've experimented with putting the PEA in the lotion as well. It's a good carrier for it. First thing I discovered about PEA, it's not water soluble, right? You put it in a glass of water and it floats, and you drink it, and it's just all on the side of the glass. So it's, my first doses weren't effective. I wasn't really getting them in. I had to eat it off the side of the glass. And
but if you warm the water,
mm-hmm.
I've very successfully melted it and used it in an enema. If you warm the water, it will melt.
Oh,
because it will melt in water. So whenever I use it I use it as a way to wash my face, like I warm some water with the PEA and some magnesium pitolate, put a little washcloth in there, make it as hot as I can handle it, squeeze out the thing, and then just use it as it's so incredibly soothing. I can't believe that I spend the time doing it, but it's so calming and soothing that I kind of do it every night now. And it's just like a little ritual. Like instead of having a cup of tea, I just put this warm cloth, and yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, skip the nickel in the tea and get a. Yeah, I'm excited to hear. I didn't think of that with the warming of it. You probably don't want to boil it. That usually denatures anything fat.
Just warm.
Yeah.
Warm. Yeah.
And it still won't like melt with the water, but it'll become liquid.
Yeah, it disappears. I mean, it just becomes clear water. So it does join the water. Yeah.
Right. And one of the instructions, so people, that if you're going to use it, you want to, now topical aside, you want to put it in your mouth and in a way let it melt in your mouth, which it does. There's a natural kind of melting over, sometimes as little as a minute, but maybe as much as 10 or 15 minutes if I manage to keep it in my mouth and swish it around. And I know people have had a lot of detox through their teeth and having a lot of problems with teeth. I have a feeling, now this is just my guess, that it's going to be really good for the teeth. Knowing that a lot of tooth decay is due to nickel toxicity anyway, because that feeds the bacteria that cause the tooth decay.
Yeah, and I also believe that it probably is helping with anybody who has GERD or people who've had a lot of bile coming up in the esophagus.
And the damage.
So any damage that you would have down here, in this area, and as you're melting it in your mouth, sort of like the lollipop, the pectin lollipops, that's why they work so well. Like I told you, when I was going through the fires in driving your Canada fires, making it over to Wisconsin and Michigan, where I was driving through, and I started to get a terribly sore throat, and I started coughing because I was breathing it for like 5 hours. And I took a lollipop with the pectin in it, and within like 30 seconds, everything was gone. So, I mean, my sore throat and my scratchiness and all the coughing was gone. So that was just one of those moments where I was like, oh my God, a freaking lollipop. And everybody knows about this. People know. Well, they don't know the reason, but they know it works. I don't know. The company who makes these things, they must know that pectin binds to nickel.
They must know it, or they just know that it's soothing, right? Like that's the part they tell us. Oh, it's soothing, but never telling us exactly why. Yeah. Do you by any chance recognize the ingredients sodium benzoate?
No.
Okay. So I found pectin in the grocery store today. It's in the jamming section, right?
I think it's a preservative.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. I'm just curious if it's super toxic or if it's something, because we're gonna make our own pops, our own pectin pops, and so they're gonna have MCP, which would also get into the bloodstream of your mouth, which is highly porous, and it will have
modified. Just say what
modified citrus pectin, for those that don't know exactly. Yeah, which is under a brand called Pectazol or Nootropics Pectazol.
No, it's not nootropics. It's another
Neogenics.
No, yes.
Yeah, Neogenics. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. But you probably don't need to go that route. Like we spent some serious money on those supplements, and you probably maybe for the MCP, modified citrus pectin, there might not be another source of that, but maybe we can talk.
There are, but none of them have as much solid research as that company did on theirs. So I think that you can kind of do knockoffs, but they may not be as well purified, because we don't want to be consuming any of the toxins from the citrus. The volatile organic compounds, the oils. We don't want that. So,
yeah, because it comes from the peel of the orange, exactly, which you would never want to eat. Hello, LeBrad Pass. I'm really glad to have you catching up later. So Yeah, that's good to know about the skin. I've enjoyed it. I used it on, I burnt myself kind of bad one night taking something out of the oven, and I very quickly just thought, "Oh, I'm just gonna mix some PEA in the magnesium lotion and put it on there." That was before anybody said that. I just, it's my little experimental mind. And it actually, in one day, completely, didn't bubble. There was no pain at all. And it was a fairly serious, like, I don't know if you can see, I can't point my arm that way for some reason. Anyway, that's just the end of it there. And it's finally losing. But yeah, so it healed really quickly, even though you really shouldn't put a magnesium on a wound. Like, that's, the salts are going to sting. But I think they can still be therapeutic. Who knows? I might be fooling myself, and the magnesium might actually hurt open skin. But it went from painful to not painful overnight.
Yeah, well, it is an analgesic. I mean, that is one of its, in the research. So especially people who might have neuropathy of any kind, it's really helpful for that. I mean, the research on it, you'd have to go watch some of Garrett's videos on it. It's just nonstop, there's so much incredible research on it, which is so suspect that all of that has been kind of ignored and isn't being shared with, doctors don't share it with their patients. What else?
The analgesic part all by itself, right? Because that is such an enormous industry. And all of the analgesics on the market, you got the Tylenol, you got ibuprofen, you got the even acetylsalicylic acid, I believe, is aspirin, if I'm correct. They all have problems with them. Never mind the heavy duty, codeines and morphine. I know I've been on that for some pain in the past, and it's actually not even that great a painkiller. It's like a mind wiper, and you check out, and you're dissociated from your flesh and your bones. But I can't say that it's like the best painkiller compared to something that, like PEA. Do you know how it even works to reduce pain?
What the actual route of the pain reduction is. I know that it is cannabinoid-like. It's not cannabinoid, but it is like that. So I know it works with some of those receptors. So that's probably how it works. But that would be a Kelsey question.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, good.
Yeah, we should have her on too.
It's I'm a step ahead of you. So I booked her for August 7th already to not to one up you, but I thought of it this morning as like, for sure Kelsey should come on and talk nickel and PEA. So yeah, that would be a really good one. So yeah, the painkiller and the nerves and the neuropathy, that's a really good tool to have in your belt. Also histamine. Right.
Yeah.
So who isn't plagued with histamine at some point in their life? And that's one of the reasons I figure I'm detoxing nickel out of the brain, because I've had sudden fits of sneezing that they come multiples in a row. I haven't really had that before, actually, because I don't even identify as someone who has allergies except two or three things.
You don't identify as a sneezer?
I don't identify as a sneezer or an allergic person. I don't get hay fever in the spring and all of that kind of thing. I'm not to say I haven't had my health problems, but I just never, I don't know, I just never glommed on to the identity of having allergies. Like some people do. Oh, it's my allergies. Oh, it's my allergies. They always turn to that kind of a cause, as if that's a cause. It's like, no, that's an effect. Those are symptoms. And, pollen is bad. And it just can't really be like that. Even, I mean, it could be.
Well, pollen is bad if you're already pollen is like, it's another dose of vitamin A. So if you're already high in it, then yeah, inhaling it is going to have a very strong effect on you.
I'm amazed it didn't affect me. Yeah, I wasn't. It could be like an inch thick on my table outside, and I'm not really feeling it. But maybe that's totally not true, because guess what I attribute any spring stuff to is the crap on the streets that gets in the air. So
yes.
it might be a combination, eh?
Well, yeah, and like we said, it's never one thing. It's
Never
several.
one thing.
And your detox pathway, maybe this one may not be as open, So I think that everybody has some pathway that is more there, like for me, because I had my tonsils removed, it tends to be around here. Everything is more vulnerable. Yeah, so I'll be spitting things out.
Exactly, and back to the pectin pops, the nickels are a main defense against nickel, right? So
The
when
pec Wait, did you say the nickel is our main defense against nickel? No.
the tonsils, did I
Oh,
say
the
that?
tonsils, yes, the
I might have
tonsils.
said that right, but yeah, because like when my sister was young and getting tonsillitis all the time, they just cut them out. Like that was their like, oh, get her in surgery and that's done. By the time I'm getting tonsillitis all the time, they're realizing, oh, don't take the tonsils out right away anymore. So I managed to live into my adulthood having them. And I know she had a lot of trouble in her life, and her health has been very bad. Not maybe that wasn't the only reason, but do you know the mechanism of the tonsils? Is it just that it's simply getting the nickel is getting lodged there, or that?
Yeah, and you know how people would have then things grow on their tonsils, so I think it's just, yeah, the nickel, and of course, because the bacteria love nickel, so then you would create this whole colonies of feeding places for bacteria. So of course, people would get these little white spots on their tonsils and things like that. Those were actually, yeah, it's pretty gross, but they were just loaded with bacteria. So
Right, and that was such a big revelation with all of this research that, again, to echo what you said before, I do recommend, don't skip just because you heard about this through us, don't skip going and seeing the research for yourself. And
mhm.
they always include documents with a link to every single paper that Garrett went through.
Mhm.
So, it's again, this isn't hearsay. You can go and verify all of the stuff that for yourself, which you should. And yeah, so that revelation about the bacteria that thrive on nickel is like that's huge because the antibiotics do work. They do. Like every time I had a tonsillitis, the antibiotics would take it away. So they were doing a certain job, not root cause job, but they were killing the bacteria that were thriving on the nickel. And then, not surprising, I would have tonsillitis 3 and 4 times a year at least, and then be on the antibiotics 3 and 4 times a year at least. So yeah, that was, and then tooth decay. That's such a big revelation too, because they're like, oh, it's acid and sugar that cause tooth decay. That may have something to do with it, but it's much more the nickel that the bacteria need to live that is
Mhm.
causing tooth decay.
Yeah, yeah, and just the bile coming up into the mouth, with its special formula of toxins can cause a tooth decay or be food for bacteria.
Right. Which might be one and the same. Yeah, I mean, there's a certain corrosive nature to acids and strong bases, which bile is. Yeah.
Yeah, and acids do activate, the absorption of nickel.
Ah,
So
right.
that's why something drinking Coca-Cola will just make you more nickel absorbable. Like if you're gonna drink a Coca-Cola from a can, perfect. You got nickel in the can, you got the Coca-Cola.
Yep.
Mm,
They
yeah.
provided the whole cocktail right there. Yeah, exactly. Otuasa, sorry, is wondering what could cause mucus and constant blocked nostrils. Kids and you are almost always all mouth breathers now. Could it be nickel? Yeah, like chances are it is nickel related. If not, like Dagmar already wisely said, there's multiple causes of everything, but it is a big part of the toxicity. And then your mucous membranes are how your body protects the innermost tissues, the more delicate tissues from the toxins, right? So you build up mucus because it's protective of those innermost membranes.
Well, yes, nickel, but everything that's high nickel is also crazy high in oxalates,
Mhm.
uh, and usually copper too. So you're getting like, it's like the blue plate special, you know. It's not just one thing. There's a bunch of stuff in there. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So the mucus is there trying to help, like you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, our mucous membranes are the best friend that you could ever have, and you take them for granted until they're gone, which happened to me when I did chemotherapy more than 20 years ago, maybe even going on 30. And it kills the fastest growing cells in your body, which are the mucous membranes in your eyes, in your nose, in your ears, in your gut, in your, literally everywhere. You've got these mucous membranes, which are so important. And yeah, so mouth breathing is a big thing that Garrett's covered as well, and it's worth looking into how to what would people go back to in his live streams on.
He's got a woman there who talks about that. I forget her name, but I think if you just put in mouth breathing, I'm sure you'll get something interesting in there. Yeah, I mean, it's just another version of fight or flight. It's just another version of like animals in the animal world. They only open their mouth when they're eating, drinking, or they think they're going to die.
Or roaring.
Or well, that's in fight or flight.
That's true.
Some form of that.
Yeah.
So, for us to do that a lot, or when we sleep, or because we talk so much nowadays in our, if you have a phone job or if you're teaching or something, you're always talking. So you're breathing with your mouth. So just that act itself is giving your body the signal that there's something urgent going on.
Exactly. Yeah, quite like Content Bear said, she said random blocked nostrils since starting to detox nickel as well. Yeah. I get these crazy sneeze, kaboom, kaboom. They just come out of nowhere. And
me too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Epic sneezes. I'm going, what the hell was that about?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure it's the brain. I was feeling all kinds of strange things in my head last night. It was definitely brain. That's my scientific method right there. So yeah, histamine and then mast cells, that's also related to allergies, correct?
Yes. It's another one of those systems. It's basically like it's just in some research they call it like an anti-toxin, the PEA. Like I mean, that's kind of a cool. And they did a lot of research in Czechoslovakia, my land of birth. And I love the name they gave it there. What was the name? They named their PEA there is named Impulsin.
Interesting.
They call it Impulsin. Okay.
And do they sell it off the shelf as a product?
I think I'm going to call one of my friends there and see if they can just, if you can buy it there. Yeah. Yeah, because there are products with PEA in it, but most often it's got like quercetin or some kind of weird thing that you don't want, unfortunately, along with it. So, finding pure PEA, there's not a lot of sources for that. But I mean, just without creating scarcity, you can go to bulksupplements.com. And what's the American version of the bulk something? Bulk supplements. I thought that was American.
It might be, but there's another site with the word bulk in it that Canadians can't order from.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Pure Bulk. I think it's
called Bulk. Okay.
Pure Bulk. Yeah. So those are two sources for the actual PEA. Let's talk about what not to get as long as we're talking about the shopping. So there is something called phenylethylamine. Phenylethylamine, something like that. Yeah, Pure Bulk. Thank you. So that's the one that Americans, and apparently it is less expensive than bulksupplements.com, which I can't order from there. So, so the difference is, this compound, I'm just going to put it in the chat so you guys can see the word, the thing that you don't want. How would you pronounce this, Dagmar?
Phenylethylamine.
Phenylethylamine. You got it. Okay, excellent. And that's an HCl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But it's the abbreviation for it is also PEA. And
exactly.
it's a
Yeah,
really big difference between that and the palmitoylethanolamide.
exactly. Yeah. So I think since we haven't spelled it out loud here, I'll put that up as a comment as well.
And,
So this is the one that you. Whoop,
and the phenylethylamine is found in chocolate, and
ah,
it's something you don't want to. And it's colorless and it has a fishy odor, so you don't want to. Don't take that one.
right, right.
Just make
Yes.
sure you get the long word correctly.
Right. Yeah, my childhood is kind of coming back, and guys used to talk about girls that smelled like fish and stuff like I know it's really
And
disgusting.
that's what it's amines coming out. Yeah, amines.
Amines, probably. Yeah, 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 there you go. So I hope that wasn't too confusing, you guys. This is the one that you do want, palmitoylethanolamide, PEA. So yeah, shop carefully on
Mm.
that one.
Um,
And mhm.
oh, I was just going. We didn't mention one of the main things that the PEA does that's really, really important. That I think is that it protects our various barriers and helps to rebuild the barriers that we have around organs, or like the blood-brain barrier. And I'm wondering now, I haven't seen any research on this yet, but I'm going to ask Garrett next week, is if there's any research on PEA and the fascia. I want,
Mm,
because I'm seeing different. I think that because of I'm feeling like I can do certain things that I couldn't do before. I'm wondering, because it feels like my fascia is somehow, I don't know if it's relaxing or strengthening or something is going on with that. So
I do not doubt it. Yeah, because fascia is a main repository of toxicity, right? Isn't that one of the reasons that the fascia gets so, not impermeable, but immobile, I guess
and
is the word.
it gets lesions, and I guess it's yeah, it kind of stiffens. Yeah, from what I
Right.
understand.
Right. And then, yeah, when I think of stiff, I think of something that's not plastic, for example.
Hmm.
It's the other way around.
No, something that's not plastic.
Not plastic. Right. Right. That it's more solid or more dense.
You mean like more elastic, not plastic. You mean more.
Yeah. By elastic, I mean
Yeah.
plastic, or by plastic, I meant elastic. So
Oh,
the
okay, okay, okay.
fascia should be able to move, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
you want to actually move your body and yeah, not have to argue with I can't go there because the fascia is all so dense and solid.
yeah.
And yeah, so the leaky gut is, in a way, the whole reason for toxic bile paradigm in the first place, right? Because that's what nobody wants to even consider, that bile ends up in the blood.
Yeah.
No natural or medical health practitioner is going to agree with that. I remember trying to convince a dentist about toxic bile paradigm. It's like, no, bile doesn't go in the blood. Bile doesn't go in the blood. It's, well, when your gut is full of holes because of the toxic recipe of the bile eating through the lining of the gut, including biliary tubes that come from the gallbladder and all of those fine little connections, then that's how all of the poison ends up in the blood. You're right, it shouldn't be in the blood. In theory, there wouldn't not be any bile in the blood, and but that's how it happens. So
Well, interestingly enough, when I was hanging out with my friend's brother, who's a physician, a surgeon, and this came up because both him and his sister and myself, we were on the LYL, and he said, well, it's normal to have bile in the blood. There's always bile in the blood. And and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's normal. All right. Like it's normal for every pregnant woman to have high liver enzymes. So,
Got it.
I mean, now they're normalizing it.
Right. They flipped the script.
They flipped the script, like, first it's like, how did the bile get in the blood? It's impossible. Like in Garrett's, I think it's video 71, that one that he used to use to introduce people to the toxic bile paradigm, where he talks about finding bile in cysts, in breast cysts, and that they actually, there's very little research, but which is shocking. Why isn't every piece that's ever taken out of a person explored for what's in it? Which I think that would be very telling, but that they did the research, but they still would say in the paper, but we don't know how it got there.
Right.
How did bile get into the breast? Well, it has to be through the blood, and so we have so much. Our blood-brain barrier is compromised daily if you live in a city, just by being exposed to electromagnetic frequencies. It does open up the blood-brain barrier, and then people eating tons of garlic, which opens up the blood-brain barrier, and like DMSO, and people rubbing DMSO all over themselves, or taking turpentine. Again, you're blasting that barrier, which is supposed to protect our brain. So that's just one tiny area. And then, of course, when you're eating high nickel and high oxalates, because oxalates will penetrate 2 cells deep, and our gut lining is only 1 cell deep. So, so we have all these things, and the bile itself, the vitamin A in the bile, the retinol, is also burning holes. So it's like, it's a miracle that we're doing as well as we are.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, you can tell you have a leaky gut because you eat something and then you feel sick shortly after, because and let's say, like, the GAPS people would say, oh, it's because there's food in your bloodstream. But when it comes down to it, it's like, that might be true to a certain degree. There might be proteins or whatever getting into your blood, but it really is the toxic bile that's the killer. I don't know. The food probably is not supposed to be in there either, if that's the case.
Your blood. That's
right.
like silly stuff.
Yeah, that is weird. I know exactly. It's like it's almost, it's childish, that how they're willing to accept explanations with no foundation, and all you have to do is demonize medical science, and they won't look at it, right? And everybody's suspecting it. Just want to quickly say hello to Michelle. Nice to have you here, playing 2.0 to catch up. Good on you. And she posted the link. She had the magic sauce. This link works, by the way. So this is for the open house that I was talking about. I don't know why she has the magic sauce, but it worked. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And yeah, go ahead.
While we're on the blood, also one of the things that PEA in the research has been found is to stabilize blood sugar.
So big.
Another extra bonus. Is there something else that we missed?
Yeah, talk about that a little bit with the stabilizing of blood sugar. What is happening for people when they don't have stable blood sugar? Do you know the ins and the outs of this one? I don't.
Well, I mean, it has to do with, because like what Garrett was saying last time, I think, is that, the liver and the pancreas are working together. And so when you have the leaky gut and all of that playing into it, I mean, blood sugar, you can look at it like that it's from eating too much sugar or not enough sugar, but really there's a lot more at play than that. It's toxicity again. It's like when you are toxic, or toxins are coming out either during a detox, or you're intaking them and you're getting overwhelmed with them. But in any case, when you're poisoned, pretty much anything can happen depending on your body. You could have any so-called label of a disease, which is just a symptom of our body desperately doing the best that it can to try to move something out. Like a fast heart rate is just your body trying to speed up and metabolize whatever poison is in there, which is why some people have a fast heart rate. Oh, I'm hearing my echo suddenly.
How is it now?
Yeah, I hear the echo.
You hear your echoing?
Where did it come from?
I know it was perfect before. I hear just a little bit in your background. if you like, you could try to jump off and jump on again. Sometimes that fixes it.
Oh, that's weird.
Or say, like, what happens when I mute and you talk?
Okay. Are you muted now? Okay. I guess let's see. No, I guess now I'm not echoing. So that's what it is, huh? Technology, fascinating.
Yeah. StreamYard isn't super sophisticated compared to Zoom, actually, on that sound isolation thing. But you could always mute while I'm talking, and I'll mute while you're talking would be one way around it, or to try the come on, come off again. That's another thing about PEA is that it is a lipid, right? So this is what we call a healthy fat. That's become a very common narrative in natural health, and they refer to healthy fats as like omegas, omega 3s, omega, what is it, 10 or 7, or I don't know. I lost track of all of those kind of things, and I was convinced to eat quite a lot of fat. And that wasn't good. Now, because we know, according to toxic bile paradigm, at least the fat soluble toxins like vitamin A, store in the fat, and it gives them a vehicle and a place to store. And so along comes PEA, which is lipid based, and it does accumulate in the body the same way as the toxic fats do, or toxic fat soluble substances. And but this one is, one of the fats that your body can't deal with, can't do without, is what I meant to say. Do you know anything more behind that, like what the fat basis?
Well, because it is fat-based, it can help to remove the fat-based toxins like vitamin A, or retinol, or any of those, right? So that's very different than, let's say, what else are we doing? Like the alginates or the binders. It actually helps to move it out. It can't PEA doesn't remove the toxins, it just supports the body in giving it the energy along with niacin to be able to remove, especially the fatty-based toxins.
Yeah, do you want to talk about the KG cleanse named after Kelsey and Garrett?
Yeah. I think that's pretty amazing. It's so simple. It's just taking niacin at the same time as you take PEA.
And would you say it's at the exact same time, or just like on the same day, or
At the exact same time. So when you take when you're gonna do your niacin, just do your PEA right along with it. And
But you kind of can't, because you got to put the niacin in water, right? Like you can't take niacin powder. I know I tried that.
You can take a capsule.
Oh, a capsule. I never do capsules, so that I always think of it in powder form and needing to be water. Okay. Yeah, so you would like take a few capsules of your niacin, and then you put the PA right in your mouth. Is that how you would do it?
I first put the PEA, then I eat, and then in between the eating, I do my niacin, like in the middle of my meal. But
Okay,
now,
so there can be some space between them then.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because the body's not that literal, I think. Like, as long as it's all in there in a somewhat contemporary way, like you could say we were all doing the KG cleanse because most everybody was on some niacin already.
Right. But to take it, I noticed a huge difference when I started to combine them, because I would take the PEA, and leave it in my mouth for a while and kind of in between, or I would put a little bit of fat in my mouth because it is fat, a fatty compound. So I found an incredible difference doing the two together. It's like the niacin is giving you lots of energy and to detox, and then the PEA goes in there and is just like, it feels like I've been dumping fat out of my system that looks like it's been around for a while. It's very satisfying.
Good for you. Yeah, because I've been taking them both, but not really concentrating on getting them at the same time. So I'm going to make that shift now and see. And do you think that there has to be a certain amount of the niacin and the PEA, or could you just use at whatever doses you're tolerating?
I think that that would be a really great question for Kelsey. From what I
Mhm.
understand, that if you can handle a bigger dose, if it's not too uncomfortable for you, if you don't mind the flush, if you've worked your way up to it, not starting at the big dose, but I would say probably at least 500 milligrams of the niacin to go with the. I'm now doing half a teaspoon of the PEA. I was doing a quarter. Now I'm increasing it.
Okay. Yeah, good for you. I noticed that I don't mind the flush, and sometimes with higher amounts of niacin, I do actually flush less, right? Which can be normal, kind of inverse relationship to it. But I will say after 2, 3, 4 days of the higher dose niacin, my body's like, okay, party on, man. We're gonna detox like mad now. And I just I have to pace myself. There's only so much of that
Yeah, yeah. I wonder,
intensity I can take.
it would be interesting to find out if that happens more to undertypes than to overtypes
I bet that's
with,
true.
with the niacin.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So since we've said that a few times for anybody that's listening, an undertype is one that when you get sick, this is the main thing, you tend to lose weight. And the other overtypes is when they are compromised, they tend to gain weight. And so these are two very different kinds of bodies with different kind of problems. Do you still consider yourself an undertype or
I
not sure?
think probably I am an undertype, even though while I was on the raw fat and raw meat thing, I became an overtype. It felt like, like I could not lose like 15 pounds, just could not. I wasn't eating large quantities either, but my body was, I guess, really working hard to create fat cells so that it could sequester all the other crap that I was the brilliant, healthy, vibrant food that I was putting in myself. I'm being ironic here. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember in some of my times when I was taught, oh, more fat is better. So, like, eat gobs of it. And I remember my young son, maybe he was 5 or 6, and he came up behind me and he grabbed my butt and he said, coconut oil, like this to me. And this is like, oh, yeah, I've been called out here. But that was probably the end of my over days that I would always be, a little bit heavier while I was going through stuff. And then yeah, just post pandemic went totally under, like a complete flip. I never in my life had trouble putting on weight. That was an easy thing. But now it's yeah, I'm pretty stable, and that's I think thanks to the MSG, thanks to the niacin. That and what else was I thinking? Just yeah, for just stability and say Garrett's report that he's been putting on weight, but
Mhm,
losing the visible fat,
mhm,
right?
mm.
So it's more becoming like dense muscle
Yeah,
mass.
yeah, I'm seeing that too. Mostly just around the waist. I see that. And, just going low A and low copper and all that, huge change in the waistline. But with the lowering the nickel, that really is starting to like, yeah. It's like the waistline is getting smaller, but I feel like there's more space internally.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm feeling more dense overall, which is good. Like that's what I wanted because I'm pretty airy overall, and
Mhm.
it was too much air, too much space, and now I'm feeling more solid. So that I like that. Not gonna a strong wind won't blow me away. Yeah, yeah.
I
So
wonder if
mhm.
anybody has any reports on the research that Kelsey did about how the PEA helps with hypertrophic, like scars that stick out. That it really does help to flatten them out. So that it must be like breaking down the fibrin. That's interesting. Scar tissue. I wonder what it does for. So there's another thing I want to make a note. Ask Garrett if there's any research, if it does anything on people who've had surgery or scar tissue that people have formed from even from like a tonsillectomy. I'm sure there's scar tissue there.
Totally. Well, he actually talked to someone about scars yesterday,
Mhm.
and from my coma, I'm remembering he was talking about using the PEA in the magnesium lotion,
Mhm.
and then to massage the skin in many different
Yeah,
directions.
yeah, working it that way, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, also serapeptase is incredible for breaking down fibrin. So I know I flattened out a scar with serapeptase alone.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never used that. That's supposed to be another good painkiller, right?
Well, athletes use it. You know, it supposedly cleans out the joints and it just eats up fibrous. It's a systemic enzyme. It's not a digestive enzyme. You take it separately from any food. It's systemic. And so which means that that it goes into the blood and it's cleaning out the bloodstream, sort of like the Pectosol. But it's specifically focused just on fibrin, which is different from what the Pectosol is focused on.
Right. Right. Very good. All right. Well, I think we more or less came to the end of our list of things that we were going to cover. Just let me check the hashtags if there's
See,
anything else.
did we forget anything important? Oh, well, maybe we shouldn't talk about this here, but, you know, just how it's used for long COVID or, you know, a long COVID basically equals post-influenza syndrome.
Right. 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 And we'll resort, if you don't mind, to use the word "coof" or boogeyman virus.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just in case. I think a couple of mentions are not the end of the world, but it'll start to register
Yeah, yeah.
repeated one, and also the jabs instead of the V word.
Right, of
Yeah,
course.
but yeah, for sure. Give a go, because that was part of the last live stream. He talked a lot about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something to note, you know, that on the research, because it is an anti-poison. And so post-flu or post-coof, you know, you've been poisoned, whether it's by something in the air or whether it's by the jibby jab or whatever. But it's just a really good thing to have around the PEA. And when you put it in a lotion, the Kelsey recommended that you do about 2 teaspoons per 8 ounces of the magnesium lotion, and then you really shake it up. And every time you use it, shake it up good.
Do you think there's that 3% that it creates PEA in the lotion? Do you think that, like, going over 3% would be a problem? I made my own with a quarter teaspoon and probably, it's just a little pot like this of the lotion, which might be 2 teaspoons or 2.5 teaspoons or a tablespoon or something like that. So do you think that's super important, the ratio?
No, I don't know, 'cause in the beginning, I did it too. I just kind of went blindly and took some things, and I was fine with it. It didn't seem to I felt good. It felt like it was really moisturizing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have a feeling that, like, I might just get myself a bottle of magnesium lotion to be my PEA and use that all the time, right? Like, is there any reason you couldn't just constantly use that for the moisturizing effect, which is mostly what I use
Well,
that for?
magnesium oil is kind of more drying.
Right, except I use it consistently with the potassium chloride, and it doesn't dry me out at all, and it doesn't sting.
Oh, okay, that's good, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you put potassium chloride into your magnesium oil?
exactly.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so
lotion. Okay.
exactly. Yeah, it's a half a cup of magnesium chloride, 1 tablespoon of potassium chloride, which I know is a lot, actually, and then 1 cup of water, really warm water, to dissolve it into. Dissolves
Oh,
perfectly.
I see you. So you're not I'm talking about putting it into the magnesium lotion that we get from Nutrition Detective. You're
I
talking
know, but when
making
you
your own.
yeah, when you say magnesium oil, to me, that means, like,
Okay,
the
okay.
water, yeah, so I do the homemade thing, and, yeah, PEA wouldn't dissolve into that because it's water-based, but
Right.
because they've got that great formula of the lotion at Nutrition Detective, then that's perfect for dissolving PEA. Like, it's so
Yeah,
nice. It's just, like, there's no clumps, nothing, just a little stir, and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, 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 it works really well. So, yeah, no, I'd be curious to slather that all over my entire body, see what happens, but knowing more is not always better, and for somebody who's really sensitive and maybe more toxic, that might ramp up your toxicity, so I have to be careful.
And put the magnesium pedalate into the magnesium lotion also.
Okay. Right. Do you know what form we're just chatting? Do you know what form of magnesium is in the pedalate? Because I make potassium pedalate, but I was wondering about making my own magnesium.
Oh, well, I think to make your own magnesium pedalate, you're going to need magnesium. I think it's magnesium oxide with the one of those pyroglutamic, one of those. I think yeah, that would be another question for Kelsey.
Okay.
How to
Yeah.
make your own magnesium
Mhm.
pedalate, because you can't get that one in Canada, the one that we get here from Nootropics.
I probably I haven't checked, but I probably could. I just don't want to in case I can make it because I have a gobs of pyroglutamic acid.
Yeah, I think you can use your pyroglutamic to make that. Yeah.
Yes, it is. That part I know. I just wasn't sure what form of magnesium because I use a potassium bicarbonate to make the potassium pedalate and the malate as well. Potassium malate. So, okay, that's good to know. I don't think I have any of that stuff, but anyway, good. Now we're just literally chatting. So, well, I think we did the job. It's a good, that's part of what we're hoping to do here is to summarize, knowing that there's, great volumes of information having come down. Is it 2 live streams on PEA now?
Two on PEA, and how many hours on nickel? Probably
Nearly 40.
40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I counted, I think
Now
30.
there's maybe about 7 hours on PEA, 40 hours on nickel.
Yeah. So that's what our hope was to make it a little bit more approachable, a little bit of a summary so you can wrap your head around it, potentially start into it, but don't bypass the research. You want to go in and use your brain to prove it to yourself. That's why I made myself say it over and over. So I thought if I'm going to take this, I have to be able to say it. Right? There's just something wrong about not being able to understand it. So yeah, it's kind of fun. We'll have to keep you posted on we got our secret little group going, making our own pectin pops that are going to have PEA in them. And so that'll be really fun if we can pass along. That's a real chemistry experiment. I do think I have all the ingredients, so I might party on my Friday night and make some pectin pops. I hope they don't turn out like jam or something, because that is the
We'll just have a pectin jam. That's
well, it could be worse, right?
yeah. I'm gonna experiment with the alginates, and I'm gonna try to see if I can make those little. They're called boba, I think, and you fill them with like I'm gonna juice my own apples, and I'm gonna put the alginates in there, and it turns into these little balls that have apple juice in them. It's like a texture thing. It's just for fun.
Oh, yes. So you make that yourself because it gels on the outside.
Yeah. It's called molecular gastronomy, and I discovered it on that website that sells the alginates, and I was like, I never heard of molecular gastronomy, and it's all
Fun.
like foofy fancy restaurants. They do these chemistry experiments, I guess, with food. So you could like maybe take like some apple sauce and then put it into these little, and it'll automatically, the alginates will encase little balls of and create little round balls with applesauce in them.
My son always remarks on this. He really likes them. What do they call them? Bulbua or some kind of word? There's a word for that.
Are you talking about? I'm only familiar with the word called boba, but I don't know if that's what he's talking about.
And look who we have in the house.
Who do we have in the house?
Kelsey.
Oh, Kelsey.
Kenny. Yeah, otherwise known as Jim Ferry on
We
YouTube.
we have mentioned the Queen of Chemistry many times, but
Several times. Yep. Giving you credit for this discovery and the research. So thank you very much, Kelsey. That's
yes,
amazing. Yeah, to have a brain like that. It's one thing to have a good brain, but then it's another thing to have a collection of good brains with different, right? And that you put them together and you can get some real power. Yeah, really nice to have you here. I am glad. And we're just kind of coming to the end, unless there's any other chats, like people want to talk about things or have any questions or other subjects you want to discuss. And the nickel detox is not for the weak of heart. It's just, I'm not meaning to discourage anyone. It's just that if you're really sucky, and you get upset every time you feel bad. Not to say that it's not upsetting. It is. I'm humbled every single time. I went into what I was calling the nickel coma last night, and it came along with this, like, big program. I'm useless. Everybody's useless. It's all useless. Like, it was just this kind of thing. And I supposedly know better. I coach people on these things. And but it's just that's how it goes. That's what you're dealing with. And
It's a journey. It's a journey. It's not just it's the full body journey. Your heart, soul, being, everything, your lifestyle. I actually am now discouraging people more. I feel much better about that because it feels more real. Because I'm no longer going like, "Hey, you should try." Now I'm like, I don't think this is for you, but I can tell you a little bit about it. But this is something that if you want, here's hundreds of videos. You can and in a way, those people who just get blown away by even the slightest complication, then it's not for them. Like you can feel them glazing over very quickly. So this is a way for me to not have to deal with the glaze. I just, and it makes some people more interested.
Right. Right, exactly. Yeah, there are people that, it can be desperation. I've tried everything with my health and nothing has worked for very long. Everything worked a little bit and then it didn't keep working. And, that tends to happen when people are a little bit older because there's a lifetime of greater toxicity accumulated in the systems. And so, it can be just, again, back to necessity, what we in a way started with, that where there's a need, then there tends to be a way. But you can see many people, even with a strong need. There's one woman, God bless her, love her. She keeps posting her health problems on social media. And I often am like, oh, by the way, peptides, bad idea. You're hacking your system. And do you know about peptides, by the way? Have you done any research?
Not a lot, but I know that they're not good.
Right. You're forcing your body to do something it wouldn't otherwise do, and it's not addressing the root cause. That part I know. So then you're going through this process. Maybe you've like stopped an important response to your own detox, and then you feel better or you lose weight, right? Like I know people who, oh, but I lost all this weight, and it's like, maybe you're going to end up an undertype storing everything in your liver instead.
Yeah, and now you have your bodies full of so much more poisons because all the fat is not holding them anymore.
That's right. Not buffered. Exactly. Like you might drop dead. So yeah, those peptides, they're made by pharmaceuticals. That's a little bit of a clue. Now people will come back and go, oh, well, so is your magnesium oxide, or so is your blah, blah, blah. And that's true. So, they make compounds, or they make those things available. So we have to pick and choose very carefully what we're doing.
That's the toughest one that I still haven't found. You should just do a show on that. Like when people say things like, I've tried everything, and then, okay, then you have obviously not everything. You haven't tried this, but it's when you get to that point with someone where they see you eating and they do start to question you and they're going like, why did you just order that in the restaurant? Why is there just a burger on your plate?
Yeah, exactly.
What is that thing you're pouring on top of it, my MSG, And
Yeah.
I just act nonchalant. I have my little jars of, my salt, my MSG, and my potassium chloride. I just sprinkle it, and when I eat, I'm in ecstasy, but they're like, what the hell is that? Why aren't you having this? Why don't you want the French fries?
There you go.
So when you get into that conversation and you're already in the conversation, then it's really not a conversation. It's just somebody goes into fight or flight and a sense of alarm of like, somebody's doing something different. That must be, oh, so I must be doing something wrong. That whole mechanism of like, why are they different? What am I doing? Is this bad? That
Yeah.
whole mechanism comes in and they're in fight or flight, and then you're not talking. They're just trying to defend their eating style or their ancestors or their mother's cooking, or but
Yeah.
we're dealing with the most deeply embedded, profound thing that human beings have around nourishment. It's so there's so much unconscious stuff around that just the idea of eating something different, it would be like pulling out your own teeth, like so strange, that people just get. Yeah, it's very personal. I think it's even more personal than money matters or sex.
Yeah, we couldn't be any more identified than we are with our food, or like to the point of religiosity. And then yeah, the first thing, if someone sees you eating something, the first thing they do is justify why they eat what they eat. And it's
Yeah,
like, I didn't even ask you what
I
you eat or ask you to justify it or
like,
anything.
great, I'm glad you like it.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's more and more the case where people have to really want the knowledge, and because many people they are interested. We actually did a great class with Mike Ellers yesterday at one of our workshops on the archetype of the warrior, and he was demonstrating commitment through some acting techniques, and we tend to be interested but not committed, and
Mm.
those are very big
Oh, wow,
things.
that's a beautiful distinction.
It
Oh,
really was.
I
Yeah,
love
it was so perfect. I know exactly, because the interest can be very, run far and wide, but the commitment. Yeah, you
and
did a really neat exercise with us to demonstrate, and we all started. He said, think of something that you're interested in, that is important to you, but yet you haven't done it, you're not doing it.
yeah, yeah.
And then yeah, there was a scenario where he said, okay, well, what if you have to do it today or this week, and there's like a half a million in it for you or 10 million in it for you, and it's like, okay, yeah, we're in committed all 100% doing it. It was so funny.
And also the reverse of what you're saying, I'm thinking how many people I know who are interested but not committed, and how draining that is to be around.
Yes,
The
I know.
energy of someone who's so interested, but zero commitment, or don't wanna take any ownership of what they're really interested in, like, go all the way with it. So it's all, it's very, very, I have to then create be like, "Okay, I'm not gonna continue, leaking my energy into the," 'cause it's bottomless. Like, interest without commitment is a bottomless pit, and in myself too, when I'm the one who's interested but not committed, it can be really draining on me too. It's sort of
Exactly.
like, it feels like a dabbling, like
It's
dabbling with finesse.
Yeah, yeah, it's a bypass, like
Yeah,
a sophisticated bypass that has that, dabbling and finessed feel to it, but it's really a circle of the drain, knowing that you ain't going down that drain, but you wanna feel like you're going down that drain. Not drain is the wrong metaphor, but, rabbit hole or whatever it is, that or you're gonna just go for it. You're going to throw your hat over the fence and go get that hat. And yeah, so it's really far and few between. That's why I do a lot of coaching on commitment. That's the first step. Say if someone comes to work with me and they're not committed, I won't coach them on anything else but commitment,
mhm,
or I won't work with them if
mhm,
they won't get. And that's all in, not just a little bit in.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah.
That is profound. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I just got tired of wasting my time and other people, letting them feel like they're, because it's a way to lie to ourselves. Oh well, if I just book the coaching package, then somehow that means I am
Right.
committed, or I am.
If I read the book.
That's right.
I've
That's right.
I've had
Exactly.
I've had people who would even read let's say, Grant's book, for example, his old books, and read the book, but, like, no commitment at
Yeah.
all, you
Yeah. Oh, that was a good book. I know. I've seen people interview Garrett, and they come away like they never heard any of that stuff, and it just like in one ear and out the other, and it's just like one of the multiple approaches in the natural health world, and it's like, oh, something different works for everybody, like this. That lie drives
Yeah,
me nuts too.
that line of thinking, yes, everybody's different, nobody's the same. I'm like, "Yeah, we all have a heart, we all have a liver." I mean, in certain things, in the in the instinctive, in the body, we are pretty, I'd say pretty, similar.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then it would be fine if the person just said, uh, "I'm not into this, so," like, just be clear about it. "I'm not committed to this, I'm not into this. Hey, don't wanna hear more." "Oh, okay."
Right, but then they couldn't lie to themselves.
Yeah, they couldn't just yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's tricky. Psychology at every turn.
yes.
So, yeah, let's see a few more chats here. Jim Ferry says she's going to be watching the replay. That's great. Eliza said, yeah, I've been to one of the restaurants where I work next to MIT, very transhumanist chic. Okay, darn it. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. And yes, Kelsey's in the house. And thank you for researching and finding PEA, Jim Ferry, sending love. Yeah, we're all so grateful for that. That is an amazing discovery of the research. Ellie, who is super good at the food stuff, she actually wrote an entire ebook that she sent to me and I sent to Garrett. And she says if you simmer chopped apples, you get a mild apple juice from the softened apples. Nice. Yeah, and then just strain out. I love cooked apples. I'm surprised at how often I don't do that. Or would that destroy anything in it? You think?
I mean,
Like
I
cooked bananas. I just read
yeah, cooked bananas, yeah, what? That they transform into a different kind of sugar?
something happens. Someone just shared that. I wonder if I could find it on the Love Your Liver Telegram group in House of Free Will. I can recommend the House of Free Will membership, by the way, for anyone that would like to study with us. It is a great group. I love being able to run things by you guys and just shared the newest low nickel version of black banana muffins this morning there, the recipe for that. And let's see if I can find the bananas. It was that it protects you from polyphenols, but only when raw. So the thing that protects you from polyphenols gets cooked away
Mhm.
in the baking or whatever way you cook them.
Well, it's baking, cooking, it's chemistry, you're adding heat to something, just like when you go in the sauna, you're creating chemistry with your own body, you know?
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Oh man, there's a lot of chats here. I can't find it off. Oh, there they are. Yeah, what could I share of this? There is
What I love about this whole way of eating is that you can't exclude the whole philosophical aspect of, what is it to be alive? It just confronts you at all the places where we don't want to see things. And it really puts you in confrontation with breaking your pattern.
yes.
For me, even inside this program, as I'm doing it, or this lifestyle, it's not a program, but I'm finding that, like, even wanting to cook my breads and all that, that's also, I stopped doing that, making my banana breads and all that, because I was like, it's become a pattern. Like, I'm like, want that reward. And now, as I'm doing so much MSG, I actually don't even have the need to do that. Mostly if somebody comes to visit, or if I go to visit someone, I'll try to bring something, and I'll cook it. But I'm just looking at, like, okay, what is that about? I'm still holding on to, like, oh, grandma's cooking, and I have the child reward of something. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just aware of it. And if I want it, I'll do it. But I know that I'm doing this to comfort myself.
Nice. Yeah. And we consider comfort to be, say, what Micah or Gurdjieff would call mechanical, right?
Mm.
That you're just, going through the motions. I often, because I've been in the same place for 15 years now, and my world is kind of the same. And, when I go for a walk in this neighborhood, I know this neighborhood really, really well, and this whole area. And, my life is pretty stable. That's not wrong. I've also had lives and times of my life where I wasn't stable and I was moving all the time. But there's something about, at least we'll be going to California soon. God willing, wish us luck, because that airline is planning a strike. They, of course, when you call them on the phone, they say, no, we're not striking. But how many plane tickets could you sell if you told people that you were in fact striking like the news says, right? So wish us luck getting there. And yeah, no one has tried everything. That's very true. Hey, you can't really get into the absolutes. I can't remember exactly what topic we were on back then. Ellie McBeal said, I love the question. Do you think it's possible that you know half of everything there is to know? Yeah, right. Hey, no, I think it's so beyond, so very beyond. Michelle said PEA sounds more doable than P, right? Definitely don't take the P. That's high nickel, you guys. So anyone that's
high oxalate too. It's
right.
high everything, you know.
It is a detox pathway. Like that's the first thing. We all knew that. Everybody knows that, but somehow what is that? You know, and the weird thing about it is that it had the same kind of like almost this is gonna be disgusting to say, but like a chocolate high. You get high on it. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's full of heavy metals and they're stimulating. That's why.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to do it like in a homeopathic dose once in a while, like just a tiny, just to give your mouth the signal of what's coming out.
Yeah.
And maybe the same way that we hold the PEA, not the P, the PEA in our mouth, you know, that sometimes holding the PEE in a tiny, tiny drop, I think it might be an interesting thing to do. You know, I just kind of look at that like, oh, well, let's see, because I'm changing so much. My chemistry is changing so much with this new way. So, but yeah, I don't recommend drinking it.
Right. On a regular basis and fasting on it and stuff like that. So yeah. Yep, crazy. It is way better than P. So good. Diane said, not going to lie, there are some areas of your life where you're super interested but not fully committed, right? Like it's a moment of truth when you start seeing, of course, exactly. You love to dabble. You like to, you know, when you feel like it, you do this. And when you don't feel like it, you just let it alone. So yeah, Michelle's right on with that. And Miss Audrey is in the house. Welcome. I've got the mom and the daughter team. Diane said, Beth, is that a white person version of Michael Jackson glove you have? Oh, funny, that thing. Yeah, on my live streams, I always have something in my hand, and this is the little cloth that I clean my glasses with, so it's always right here. And I roll it up, and then I unroll it, and then I roll it up again, and I unroll it again. So it's
You have your cloth, and I have my fan.
which is much more function. Well, this functions too, so I can see. I almost never clean my glasses until I'm on the live stream. It's funny how I can't register that I can't see until I'm here with you guys. You need a witness sometimes, you guys. So yeah, it seems like a black glove, but it's not. And one last poke at the P here. I would use P on a jellyfish sting. Right, exactly. Yeah, I think that's something. Yeah, little fidget toy. Exactly. Yeah. And you like the fan and the cloth. That's nice. Very good. And you thought it was a glove. Yeah, I don't have any fancy gloves. But we have Maya out there. She makes really fancy hats. If you go on her Facebook, you should post more, Maya, your hats in the House of Free Will. Maybe I think there is a place where you could do that, what you can be hired for, which, making you like custom hat. I'm still dreaming of the exact kind of hat that I would want. So keep me posted. And you thought it was a glove and can't type. That's all right. No worries. We have now determined it is a cloth, a little cloth. And so, yeah, the House of Free Will is a great place. It's a organically growing community where, and I don't mean growing in numbers, I mean growing together and getting to know each other. It's actually very small and intimate. We have a lot of close contact, and you are welcome, Maya. So you could probably find her. Where's the best place to find you? On Facebook, and then in the House of Free Will, of course, and on the King Hero chat and Telegram. And if you're interested to apply to be a member to the House of Free Will, you can find a link in the bottom of the show notes here. It is a two-part process. I ask people to apply just so I know that we are closely related enough that you're not going to come in and hear me, shit talk a boogeyman virus and then get upset, or shit talk ivermectin or natural health. Right? We have a lot of freedom in there. that, I don't censor myself in there. It doesn't even sound like I censor myself here, but I do. And yeah, Facebook and Instagram is where you can find Maya. Yeah, she's got some really beautiful pieces. I have a winter one, a beautiful winter hat, but I need a summer hat that's light and airy and yet protecting me from death when I'm in the sun. So no, yeah, they are classy hats. Really, really, really beautiful. And one last comment, been able to glean so much from this live stream. I'm so glad. Yeah, easier summary of Garrett. So that's our hope, where this is not to replace his work by any means, and Kelsey's research, but it gives you a little bit of an overview, and now you have more of a reason to go and consume what is upwards of 46 or 47 hours of information. So, but he does also, in his own notes, he supplies a document with the research papers, direct to the research papers. So if you don't have time for the whole entire live streams, just go right to that and start reading for yourself, which can be difficult because if you don't know how to interpret those papers and you have to look up every second or third word in a medical dictionary, that can be annoying, which I appreciate. Garrett actually does that for us. He'll always translate as he goes. Very, very a helpful tool as a teacher.
Yeah, he's made my life so easy because in the past I would be researching all this and it would take, oh my God, I have so much more time since I've discovered Garrett's work.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like it's so much time in so many different ways, right? The cooking and the cleaning and the shopping
and the jewelry and the clothes, everything is getting minimalist for me. I'm like letting go of so much that my life is so much simpler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And letting go is a superpower, right? There was someone in the chat this morning that said, "Oh, I would go low nickel, but I can't let go of my oats. What do you eat for breakfast?" And these are, emotional attachments, even though it's, and this is not calling anybody out by any means. It's just that's what it is. So every time I've let go of a food I didn't think I could live without, it's been a victory. It's like, oh, look, there I am, and perfectly fine without it, where my mind's threatened me I was going to be sad all the time. Right. So, yeah. And thank you very much for that. We love and endorse the context and views. So it's a great partnership. I do, by the way, offer deprogramming in the Love Your Liver group for their members. So once a week, this will not be forever for sure. But right now I'm currently doing a weekly session coaching people live and helping them through their health anxiety, working with their symptoms or their pain or anything that affects your health, which is pretty much everything. But we're really focusing on how can you impact your health, because that's where I really prove this work to myself. And Michelle's happy to share Maya's links next time. Please remind you for sure. Please do. Somebody remind me as well. That would be great. And Kelsey said, "I'm so grateful for the trust and appreciation we have for our work in research." Yeah, it's amazing. What a beautiful synergy. Honestly, that's what I would call it. Just a super synergistic kind of a work, and work that works. It's hard not to get behind it, right? If you're really tired of fake and gay stuff, then they come for the real stuff. So there you go. And my great pleasure. Yeah, it's equally satisfying to me too. It's an experiment. You guys are a place where you like experiments, and I want to see it work, and I have seen it work, and very synergistic indeed. All right. Well, I think we covered the waters of PEA today, not the PEE waters, just the PEA waters. I couldn't resist that one last time. And Dagmar, is there anything you want to share about what you've got going on these days, or anything you want to direct people to?
No. Palmitoylethanolamide. I just wanted to say it one more time.
10 times fast. Palmitoylethanolamide. Yeah, I derailed on 3.5.
I appreciate that we can have these kind of post Garrett, summaries, because it's a way to also just release some of the, I don't know, something about engaging in conversation and communicating about it, like you're just two women, going through our experience, curious and committed but not attached, and just, I think it's just a great, it's an honor to be in the company of all the people that you draw to you, and who you are. It's a great, like you were saying, synergy, to just be able to communicate or commune, not communicate. It's more communing. It's more of a communion. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking, that that's the word. It's communion. It's the sharing of it, right? We're just not meant to live in a box and be alone, especially when there's big commitment. You need big support.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And some laughter, I mean,
Have fun with it.
It's not just like, straight serious stuff. I mean, and to talk about shit, I mean, come on.
I know.
What could be more fun?
Exactly. Yeah, we had an episode dedicated to a lot of farting and stuff. By the way, is that still happening for you with the nickel detox?
No.
Me neither.
No, I've now have transcended the fart. But I still have my little fart machine that I carry around with me just to make people laugh occasionally. Like when I talk about this, I'll say, "Oh, this is a really wonderful diet," and I squeeze my thing, and they're like, "What?" I go, "Oh."
There you go.
Yeah, I know. It's completely now, like, my intestines are so rearranged. Oh my God. I mean, like, I'm just amazed who I'm amazed at the shit that comes out of me.
There you go. It's glorious. It's the happiness is good poops. That's the fact of life.
It's an action of creativity, Well, it is, that's why I feel every human being is creative, because everyone squeezes something out every day. and it's the fertilizer, it's like that saying, out of the mud the lotus flower blooms. It's the fertilizer for everything, so just kind of get it, to know that part of creation, and you're taking in so much in life, but it's also about what you let go.
It's evidence of digestion is another thing, right? Like that, without digestion, that part doesn't go well. So,
and it's also evidence of discernment in a way, because your body is now, my body feels like it's learning, oh, this is poison, this isn't, oh, we can get this out, we don't have to store this, oh, this is great. It's like my body can eventually become a minimalist too, just like I'm trying to clear my space of all my stuff that's here. My body can let go of all these little suitcases and all these little tchotchkes and things that are around, tucked up in drawers and under the bed, that it can be like, oh, well, we can like clear this out too, and for me, I'm starting to discern, like I'm looking around my environment and I'm going, why do I have this? Why do I have this item here? What is this? Do I need it? Do I love it? And I feel like I'm able to choose. And I love that feeling that's happening internally for me in my body, that it's like I'm giving it the space to do what it wants to do.
right.
That's freedom. I'm experiencing in real time, biologically, what freedom feels like, and the non-attachment to things that I don't need.
Exactly. And what I've grooved on a lot lately is that growth requires space, right? That's, if anything's going to grow, and the purpose of our existence is to grow our essence, right? We're given the little spark of our creator, and it's our job. It might just, it might stay a spark, it might die completely out, or we can literally feed it with good food called, Gurdjieff would call it conscious suffering and conscious labor.
Yeah. And this is the aspect of the LYL thing, is that I know that when I go through my, like you were calling it, the nickel coma or something like that, it's now conscious. It's not just like, oh my God, what's happening to me? No, it's like I am connecting, and I'm going, oh, wow, there's something amazing going on. I'm going to stay with it. I'm not going to run to somebody and go like, help me, help me. Um, so
Yeah.
it's a whole different, like it's real time, like you're really there when you have a pain or when you have a sudden an unbearable itch somewhere or something starts to erupt somewhere, and you don't freak out, that you just can look at it like in a dream, like if you have a bad dream with a monster in it, instead of running from the monster, you just look at the monster and you're like, hi, what's your name?
Exactly. Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Nice to meet you. Oh, wow, you got some really slimy skin. Okay. Or
Yeah,
like, you
exactly.
fart a lot, or like bad breath. So can we keep a foot? But yeah, you get what I'm saying.
All right, my dear. Well, it's always a pleasure. I think we're getting better and better at this every time we do it. You are a repeat offender on Beth of Fresh Air. By the way, next week on the Beth of Fresh Air, someone's going to interview me. By the way, I had her on last week. Her name is Marissa Love. She is the Ladybug line on Instagram, and she's just a beautiful joy. Like on the outside, all like pink and flowers and stuff, but just real as Ev on the inside. And so, yeah, she said to me that she wants to be a podcast tour, and I'm quoting her, I hope she doesn't mind, and go on everybody's podcast to interview them, because often the interviewer doesn't get interviewed very much. So I'm like, yeah, that sounds just right. I love answering the questions sometimes too. So yes, we'll be back next week. And then Monday, again, Banjo Glass is coming up, and we'll do a House of Free Will event. We'll start maybe scheduling that, where we can talk about the psyops behind the psyops that Micah Ellers is very well aware of. We got weekly snippets going on in there. Micah and I are back on a roll doing some snippets together on the basis of the Gurdjieff's work, or not the Gurdjieff's work, which he's very well versed in. And I think that's all. The open house, if you'd like to join me for the Journey Code open house, I'm going to start doing some messages also, just in terms of people make a living in a lot of different ways in the world. And you hear it very consistently. People say they hate what they do. Well, I have the incredible luxury. I mean, I worked my butt off for it, of loving my work. I never come away from my work going, what was that about? Or what was that for? Or wasted time? Or, even when it's difficult, and there are difficult times, it is the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. And I can make my entire living this way. So I want that to be the case for those that are, they have a helping spirit. They want to be in service. They want to actually follow their own purpose. And there's Michelle sharing the link again for me. She did it right. She has a magic. I don't know the magic touch. So she shared that link, which you can click on here and also in the notes. All right, my dears, I think that's it for Friday. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back here Monday and then Friday again. Thank you so much. Let me set up just so I know what I'm doing here. I do keep, every time I see this outro, I keep telling myself, I'm going to redo that this week. And I am not getting to that one at a time. I get to everything I say I'm going to get to, more or less. I still haven't sang to my toothbrush. That'll be another.
Oh, yes.
I got a request for that. Yeah. I was practicing the other night, though. It's kind of funny.
Oh, good.
All right. So I think that's all. Thank you so much, Dagmar. Lots of love. Thanks, everyone, for being here in the chat. That was awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Bye for now.
Bye.
Oh, my true guide, Lord and supporter of all, forever free from identity. Be well, I'm dwelling in you. Be well, I am dwelling in you. Be well, I am dwelling in you. Bharata Gupta Maheshwara Paramatme Dijapiyokto Deyasmin Purusha Para Deyasmin Purusha Para Deyasmin Purusha